Most people spend 12 years in school learning to solve quadratic equations, memorize historical treaties, and diagram complex sentences. But almost no one explains how money actually moves. We aren't taught the mechanics of compound interest, or how debt can quietly multiply in the background while we aren't looking. This gap in our education isn't a minor oversight. It leaves most people to figure out the rules of wealth only after they've already started losing the game. Take a doctor earning $300,000 a year who spends $290,000 of it. On paper, they look successful. Compare them to a teacher earning $50,000 who consistently invests $10,000 of it every single year. After 30 years, the teacher often ends up with more wealth than the doctor. The size of the paycheck is often a distraction from the math that actually builds security. A high income is not the same thing as wealth. Wealth is what remains after your expenses are paid, and more importantly, what those remaining dollars do for you while you sleep. Wealth is built in the space between your income and your spending. We call this the gap. Learning to deliberately widen this space and put it to work is the most effective thing a person can do to change their financial trajectory. Most people focus entirely on Pillar 1, earning. They spend decades chasing raises and promotions to increase their top-line number. But income has a hard ceiling. There are only so many hours you can work, and only so much a single job can pay. Pillar 2 is saving. This is the active discipline of protecting the gap. It doesn't require earning more. It requires spending with intention. A person who saves 20% of a modest salary will usually out-accumulate a high earner who only saves 5%. Optimizing for income while ignoring the gap is like running a business that generates millions in sales but has no idea where the profit goes. To grow that gap into something lasting, you need Pillar 3, investing. Albert Einstein is often associated with the math of compound interest, recognizing that when returns generate their own returns, growth accelerates. Look at the difference 10 years makes. Person A invests $10,000 at age 25 and never adds another cent. Person B waits until they are 35 to invest that same $10,000. With an 8% return, Person A's 40 years of growth results in more than double the final amount of Person B's 30 years. Those first 10 years were doing the heaviest lifting. Time in the market beats timing the market. The person who starts early and does nothing clever almost always outperforms the person who starts late and tries to be strategic. Real financial momentum isn't about finding a secret. It's about giving the math enough time to work. But there is a force that quietly narrows the gap as fast as you can widen it: lifestyle creep. As income rises, spending tends to rise with it. A raise is often immediately absorbed by a newer car or a larger home, keeping the gap static or even shrinking it. When you add high-interest debt to the mix, the math of compounding begins to work against you. A savings account might earn 4%, but a credit card can charge 22%. At that rate, debt grows 5 times faster than your money can, making it impossible to gain ground. Eliminating high-interest debt is effectively a guaranteed return because it stops the active destruction of your gap. Lasting security doesn't require a finance degree. It requires 3 habits: spend less than you earn, invest the difference, and let time do the rest. This logic applies to your education as well. Just as Person B lost half their potential wealth by waiting 10 years to invest, waiting to understand these basics carries a massive hidden cost. The longer you wait to act on what you know, the more expensive that delay becomes. The architecture of wealth belongs to those who understand the gap early, take the first step, and simply don't stop.